Good morning everyone and welcome back yet again to another daily update video. My name is CryptoStash and I hope you're all having an amazing weekend. Currently it is Saturday and let's get right into the charts. Starting off with Bitcoin, you can see right here we are still very bullish. Basically after holding this value area high as support, as I did talk about in my previous videos, we finally managed to flip this level into support, and right now price is trading above this level. We are currently remaining just around this high right here, and the next thing that we need to see is if Bitcoin manages to flip this particular high right here, so something like this, manage to flip it into support as well, then we could very well be targeting the higher prices that we have been talking about. But the idea of another pullback to the downside could still happen. We could still see something like this play out. We get a fake out during the start of next week, since as you can see right here, the weekly time frame right now is finally looking bullish. But of course, in about 1 day, when we get a new weekly candle open, we could get some correction happening, since as you know, when a new candle opens, most of the time you can see like right here, it does retrace a bit towards the downside before continuing higher. So very well we could still see something like that happening. So we get our new weekly candle, we pull back a bit to 70k, and then we start pushing back towards the upside. Of course, we could get like something like this, for example right here, a bit consolidation, and then once the other weekly candle starts, then we get that pump. It could also happen like this. But as things are looking right now, and if the stock markets keep holding and start pushing for a new all-time high, I do believe that Bitcoin will also start to pump even higher. Potentially we could be targeting the 100 weekly EMA, which is sitting right now around 82k. But as you know, my first target is going to be just around the monthly R3, which is sitting at exactly between $79,000 to $80,000. That's gonna be like another 10-11% move. And from the bottom, from the exact bottom that we had from 60k and all the way up to there, it's gonna be like 34% of a relief rally correction. And if we measure our previous relief correction, this was like 21%, so a 34 basically to 36-35%, maybe even almost to 40%, or basically towards the 200 EMA on the daily could mark our high right here. So the overall macro plan is going to be something like this. We top out here and then we start pushing lower once again. But as of right now, I do believe we are gonna continue higher. As I said, a lot of people were bearish right here, and right now they're all getting wrecked basically. And I do believe we could continue higher. As of right now, you can see we are currently trading above those, back above the EMAs. We could, of course, consolidate a bit before making that move, but still, I do believe that the overall next move is gonna be to the upside. Of course, even if we get a slight pullback, I still do believe that we're gonna push higher before, as I said, the actual correction lower starts. I do believe that we are still in a bear market, and if we get that relief rally, we could very well basically start trading lower once again, and maybe even take out the low from the summer of 2024, which is at around $49,000 to $50,000. So from 80k, if we get to around 83k, a drop to let's say 50k is gonna be like 38%, which is basically a normal correction, since right now we're gonna get basically like a 38%, 39-40 relief rally, and then we get 40% correction, which is gonna be completely normal in my opinion. Of course, this is not a financial advice, these are just my outlooks for the market. If we look for the short term right now, you can see we have open interest kind of coming down, but price is not dropping that sharply, which is very nice and bullish. We are also currently trading above VWAP, and as I said, even if we get small pullback, I do believe this pullback could be just a liquidity grab. And if we get to 70k, I do believe we are gonna bounce from 70k and continue. This move is gonna be, in my opinion, just to flush out the late longs that have longed right here at around 73 to 72k. Liquidations heat map, you can see we do have most of the liquidity right now, which is getting created, is piling up on the top side. So I do believe that we will have a very nice move to grab that liquidity. Fear and Greed index slowly climbing. As you can see, we are getting back in that neutral zone. And if we hit the greed zone, this is gonna be very, very interesting. And I do believe once we get to around the greed zone, guys, this is where Bitcoin is potentially gonna top out, as I said. But of course, this is gonna take a while. You can see institutional inflows keep coming up. We do have another 240 million on Friday. Basically, yesterday we got another nice institutional outflow. You can see potentially the spot ETFs flow right here is coming to a reversal, which is very nice to see. Of course, once we start dropping towards those lows right here, of course it might not happen. We need to start breaking certain levels before that, but still I do believe this is what's gonna happen in the macro trend. So basically right now where we are, I do believe we are either here or right here, and we do have like another drop to come. Basically, you can see after topping out right here, we get our first drop, and you can look at it like this. We top out, we get our first drop, we get our first consolidation, then we get our second drop. You can see we get our second drop, then we get our consolidation with relief rally, then we get our final drop towards the downside, and then we get some consolidation, prolonged consolidation for about a couple of weeks with a bit of upside, and then the bull rally starts again. This is what I do believe is gonna happen on a macro time frame. Long versus shorts ratio for the day, you can see we still have a lot of buyers sitting right now, which is nice to see. Yeah, I do think that this would cover it for today, guys. Hope you liked the video, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye.